Hey everyone, it is Diane Flores at livingthegoddesslife.com. You may also know me from Venus Pole Fitness Studio or Goddess Body Boot Camp. I'm popping in today. It's a quick Q&A Friday. I am actually facing the clock, so I make sure that I don't take up a 30-minute video. I know, I could talk a lot. I really love getting this information out to you guys, so I'm going to try to keep it short today so you can move on with your day and hopefully grab some little nuggets of wisdom in what I'm going to share with you today. But first of all, I need to make sure you guys can hear me, see me. If you have just popped in, if you give me a thumbs up, give me some love, give me a little heart, let me know. And also at any time through the video, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. And I'm just going to check and double check those comments as I'm going through the video. And I can answer those hopefully live. And if I don't get to them, I will go in and answer them later. So if you're watching this after the video has been recorded, you can still feel free to go in, leave comments, questions, feedback, and I will get to you. So first of all, I'm going to start with, I have three main topics I want to talk about today. I'm going to try to keep them brief so that way you have some great stuff to take away from the video. The first one is going to be, one of my girls, Chelsea, had asked about sugar cravings. And that is a huge one that I hear about a lot, especially as we start Goddess Body University. I get lots of girls saying, you know, I have a sweet tooth, and I always say, I feel you, girl. I have sweet teeth. I don't just have one tooth. All my teeth are sweet, okay? So I am always loving sweets. That's my favorite thing. Desserts, brownies, chocolate, ice cream. You guys know, if you followed me for any time, you know how I have a passion and a love for brownies and dark chocolate. So I totally get that. So I'm going to talk to you about a couple things. A lot of times the sugar cravings start, so when you start to feel a sugar craving, a lot of the times it starts from what you did or what you've been eating previously in the day, so earlier in the day, or what you haven't been eating. So a lot of times if you're eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of carbohydrates, a lot of stuff that's overly sweetened, sometimes that can continue to trigger that desire or that craving for sugar. So I'm not a big fan. You guys know I totally am against sugar detoxes and things of that nature. I think sometimes they can play an important role when you're first getting into the vibe of like eating clean and eating healthy. But a lot of times they backfire because we do them for the wrong reasons, like we want to lose 5 pounds and whatnot. So a lot of times it comes down to the basics being water. So I need you to get in as much water as you can. And I know that doesn't sound fun and fancy and exciting and like some big earth-shattering tip, but a lot of times the beverages you are drinking are triggering your cravings for more and more sweet, more and more sugar. So unsweetened beverages, things like herbal tea, if you're a big Starbucks fan, I love me some Bucks, but that stuff contributes to your sugar cravings big time. So it's starting to change some of your habits with what you're drinking. So it could be switching from a Frappuccino to maybe just an iced coffee with a little bit of half and half and some stevia or Truvia or something like that, just to take out the abundance of sugar that you're pumping into your body all day long. So that's tip number one. So start to gradually cut back sugars or before the time you're starting to notice cravings. That will seriously help so much in terms of cutting back your cravings. Number two is the amount of artificial sweeteners that you are using. And a lot of times we don't think about it. You know, diet sodas, artificial sweeteners in gum. A lot of times we're adding them to iced tea. Splenda is a big one right now. Equal, Sweet and Low, things like that. I tend to stick to more of the natural side of things. So stevia's, right now, studies are showing that's probably the better side of things in terms of using artificial sweeteners. So cutting out the artificial sweeteners as much as you possibly can. Again, as you start chewing and digesting, they trigger a signal in your stomach for you to want more. You will crave more. I was addicted to artificial sweeteners back in my competing days in 2013, 2012. I was eating sometimes up to 12 to 13 packets of Splenda and with a combination of stevia. It was bad. So you really want to start watching your artificial sweeteners and where they're coming from. Number three, a lot of times, and this kind of goes hand in hand with number one, with water and going back to things that are a little bit plain for a while, is you got to take it back to basics. And what I mean by that is your taste buds have to adjust. So if you've been eating a certain way for quite some time, your taste buds don't really know what it's like to have that break. And then you'll notice when you go back to eat that food, it is so incredibly sweet, and a little bit goes a very long way. And this took me some time and some patience to get used to. So when all my teeth were sweet and I was wanting sweet treats all the time, as hard as it was, because it feels like you're depriving yourself a little bit, but honestly, it's for your health more than anything, more than, I know we're all concerned with a lot of fat loss, but more for your health than anything is cutting back some of that, because diabetes and obviously the health problems that can come with that. But when you cut back down to basics as much as you possibly can, you'll notice that your cravings start to decrease, and then when you add that food back in, you just can't handle very much. So the fourth thing is that the fourth tip on that, as far as sugar cravings, is what is your trigger food? So there may be a certain sweet treat. For me, it was brownies and sometimes Oreo cookies, and yeah, so you start to add those in, you're going to want them more, and it's a trigger food for you to just continue to want to eat more of that stuff. So a lot of times I tell my girls in Goddess Body University is we need to pull out some of those trigger foods. So if there's an instant, when you're in the grocery store, you just know instantly, like, oh, I always buy Oreos, that's my snack food, or whatever your thing is, you may have to put that on hold for just a little bit, because that it could be a trigger for you to continue to want to eat more. I know that happened for me. For me, it's been Oreos. I haven't bought Oreos in a while now, but the other one was peanut butter. And although people think peanut butter is healthy, in excess quantities, it's very, very high in fat. So I had to break up with peanut butter for a while, not gonna lie. Now it's totally fine. A little goes a long way, and I'm totally okay. So those are your 4 tips on sugar cravings. Moving on, Stacy, one of my girls, asked, she gets overly stressed out. She had a lot of questions, overly stressed out with eating, what's healthy, what's not healthy. My tips on that is worry about the big movers. And what I mean by that, or some people will call it big rocks, and that's what we learned in the nutrition school that I went to, is moving the big rocks. Let's worry about the big things first. So getting in lean sources of protein, vegetables, and healthy fats, worrying about those things first. She was asking, like, I like eating salads, but then it's like, oh, the croutons and the dressing and all the extra stuff that's on there. Girlfriend, you're eating a salad. High five. I love it. Let's start there, okay? Baby steps. Salads are great. So start with the salads, and then as you start to enjoy them, then let's talk about maybe switching from your full fat dressing to maybe a vinaigrette or something like that. What I did when I first started in this crazy world of dieting is I would eat salad with lemon juice. Oh, it was terrible. So I was like, oh, I got to eat salad. It's, it's rabbit food. I had a girl say that the other day, salads are rabbit food. Salads are actually quite enjoyable. And I know a lot of people are like, well, by the time you put all this stuff on the salad, you might as well have had a burger. Well, the thing is that you're getting so many vitamins, nutrients, minerals, micronutrients, microgreens, and then you also have your healthy proteins and your healthy fats in there too. So you're fulfilling a broad spectrum of nutrients there. So it's not just, let's just eat a burger, because calories in, calories out are important, but it's also the quality of those calories, the fiber, lots of nutrients, like I said. So focus on moving the big rocks. Eat a salad, enjoy some croutons, have a little bit of cheese, if that means that it's going to satisfy you and you're not going to be hungry 5 minutes later and wanting that burger, right? So move the big rocks. Like your salads first, then adjust and start making a little bit of modifications here and there. Okay. I think I'm at about 10 minutes, you guys. I'm doing good. I'm wrapping up. Okay, number 3, I had a girl ask about nighttime snacking. Now, this is a huge one, and a lot of people come to Goddess Body University with this question. Like, I love sitting down at night watching my favorite show, watching the news or whatever, and nighttime snacking. I'm great all day long, and then I come home and I want to eat the pantry. And I know firsthand because, again, I've been there. I've done that. I did the same thing. So more than anything, this is a habit, right? This is a habit that you've got into. You get home from a long day at work, you grab a bag of chips, you grab a bag of Oreos, whatever your vice is, that is a habit. Now, I'm not going to tell you to break that habit because maybe that's how you sort of unwind for the night. What we need to do is switch it. So what can you swap out for that, okay? A lot of times, the other reason why we come home and we tear through the cabinets and the cupboards and everything is because you've been overly restricted all day long. So maybe you did great with breakfast, you had a smoothie, you did a great lunch, you had lean protein or you had a salad, and then you come home and you're like, F this healthy eating stuff, give me the bag of Oreos because I'm going cray-cray. Okay, so if that is you, then we need to ease up a little bit during the day. Where can you add maybe some healthy fats? Maybe you can have some chocolate with lunch, maybe a squirt of dark chocolate, maybe something. So that way by the time you get to nighttime, you're not like feeling overly restricted. This happens during the weekends too, which is, you know, how I feel about that topic. So what I want you to do is find something that you can swap out with for that thing that maybe isn't serving you. Now, for me, I give myself some dark chocolate. So I have really rich squares of dark chocolate. They're individually wrapped. One is fine. I nibble on that. Sometimes I'll have a small glass of wine. I know that I'm just going to have one and one and I'll be fine. Some nights it's two, but majority of the time we focus on consistency with the small things. So a square of chocolate, dark chocolate, can satisfy a sweet craving. Another thing is air pop popcorn. So a lot of girls are salty cravers. They like a salty craving. Get yourself some mini bags of popcorn or pop your own popcorn and have that instead of chips, potato chips, or something that's heavily saturated in tons of salt and fat and overly processed. So air pop popcorn. Another one, I know it's gonna sound like, oh, yawn, is veggies and hummus. Okay, so you get that dipping action. A lot of time we like to dip and munch and dip and munch. Veggies are great for that. So I usually do sugar snap peas, carrot sticks, something like that, just to have something to munch on. I always say try not to eat out of the container because before you know it, the hummus is gone. So spoon it into just a little, maybe just a little size serving there. Take it with you, sit on the couch, enjoy it, have your little unwinding moment. We're back. Okay, the other thing is if you are an ice cream eater, so you like ice cream at nighttime and you like to sit down and just get down on some Haagen-Dazs. Isn't that stuff good? So a good substitute for that, if you want to sub out because you are still trying to work around eating things in moderation, a great thing to sub out for ice cream is Greek yogurt. Now, a lot of people don't like the taste of Greek yogurt because it's the fat-free plain Greek yogurt doesn't have any sugars or nothing added to it. It's very, very plain. It almost tastes like sour cream. So you can kind of doctor it up a little bit, add a tablespoon of cocoa, add some stevia, add a little bit of Truvia, whatever you need to do just to kind of sweeten it up a little bit, maybe even some honey, and then have that for your sweet treat. So there's a couple things that you can swap out. I have huge lists in Goddess Body University. I have lots of swap out snack options, snack ideas. So that way you don't feel like, oh, I have to eat, you know, I always eat Doritos when I watch 2020 or whatever. I don't even know what comes on TV anymore. So, so there are some tips for you to swap out some of your favorites and know that it's a process. It's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna always look wonderful when you're trying to eat clean. This session of Goddess Body University, I'm talking a lot about your top 5 foods that I want you to include in your diet. We're gonna go over that a lot this session, switching things up because my perspectives have changed. I've learned some new different strategies. I'm super excited to bring it to the group. So we'll be talking a lot about that. And as you know, or maybe you don't know, I actually am Goddess Body University is open right now. So we are starting on Monday. That's in 2 days. 2 days, we are starting. So I have an online version if you are not around here in town to come to my absolutely wonderful studio. I have an online version that's equally as wonderful, has worked for many a women. And then I also have the studio unlimited classes here at Venus. So you'll get to do boot camp, pole dancing. You get to be completely immersed as a goddess here at the studio. So there's a couple options for you. I will add some links in there. If you have any questions about the program, feel free to leave a comment. I will get back to you. But make sure you check it out. If you are looking to change it up, if you've been doing the same thing with your food and nutrition and it's not working, you're super frustrated, and you want to try something different, I guarantee you that you will have fun. You will love the community. The private Facebook group is awesome. The girls in there help each other out. It's a huge accountability piece. I'm in there every single night. I'm posting everything as I go along in this journey for the Goddess Body Project. So I am always in there with you guys going through it, and you're never alone. So again, check out that link. It's got all the details there for you, and I hope to see you when we start Goddess Body University on Monday. Who's ready, y'all? I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh, I'm dancing by myself. Well, I appreciate you for joining in. And if you tuned in this whole time and listened to me talk with my hands, high five. I love you, and have a beautiful Friday. Take it easy, ladies.